The construction industry is incredibly expansive, but what attracted it to me the most was the fact that there's a wide range of roles.
My dad was always involved in construction as a builder, so I spent a lot of time on site with him during the school holidays and getting involved with that.
I remember being 3-4 years old and always looking out the window and just being mesmerised by all the cranes and all the construction, and I knew it was something I wanted to be a part of.
I really liked maths, so studying engineering was a really good fit.
I've always been fascinated with the idea of space and how people use space.
I kind of grew up around building sites, spending a lot of time with my dad on school holidays, running around following him.
I was actually lucky enough to be pulled into the industry, so I came from a non-typical background and I ended up working for a domestic builder, and then from there I've applied for a graduate role.
The reason I got into construction was running my own business for 7 years. The financial ups and downs of that really made me decide to sell the business, and I'd been in construction previously, so I decided to jump over to a labour hire company. Within 6 months I was offered a supervisor role.
The most rewarding parts of the jobs is getting to work with a diverse range of people.
Seeing all your hard work come to play.
I've had a lot of really good wins on site, lots of innovations, things that you can go, hey, I've contributed, I've created that.
I get to work on site every day as a site engineer and see my hard work be built in front of my eyes, and at the end of the day walk through the building in its finished product.
You go through this whole process and then at the end of it you see this great big thing that you've done all together, and that's always very exciting and very rewarding.
You kind of take on a little bit more responsibility when someone just says, hey look, can you handle this? And you can just say, yeah I can, no worries.
I see my career progressing in the next 5 to 10 years onto a role in project management, potentially leading a project myself.
Moving out of the graduate role into a project coordinator position.
Still stay in the same field and become a project coordinator.
I would like to manage my own large-scale structural scope, maybe even delve into the civil side of things.
Slowly start progressing towards the design stage.
I can see myself as maybe a senior technical engineer or senior project engineer.
Work-life balance is a massive one for me. Being able to enjoy time and do things I like outside of work is a big part of what I want to do, so I don't want to be stuck at work all day every day, but just got to make sure I manage my time.
Better work-life balance is definitely something that would benefit the industry as a whole and make it more inclusive to different people as well.
It's always good to have that mix of work and personal life, and just to have that right balance I think is critical to a successful career.
Helps me to get the best of myself to work every day.
It's important to kind of have hobbies outside of work and to have time away from work to de-stress and do your own thing.
You have to set those boundaries. You have to understand when you need time for yourself and communicate that to management.
So work-life balance is important to me, but if I'm being completely honest, it's something that I often struggle with, especially at the moment as a site engineer.
Working 6 days a week, it is hard.
The culture in the construction industry is very high pressure, but what that's been doing over the years is allowing more resilience, adaptability to be seen across our teams and workforce. And what that's also leading to is more collaborative contracts and working environments.
So what significant changes have we seen in the industry over the last couple of years? An increased appetite for collaboration, cooperation, both between businesses in the industry, but also more broadly with our clients. The changes both in society, but also in the industry as well, of inclusivity and diversity and flexibility. We're working hard in that. I don't think we're there yet, but certainly we've come a very long way since where we were several years ago.
The industry, I guess, has grown a lot in terms of flexibility and work-life balance, which is really nice. Some things have moved significantly, particularly around being a woman on site. I was often the only woman on site. Now I'm usually part of a team that's a good mix of women and men.
I'd have to say the last 25 years I've seen a big improvement in safety across the industry, which is welcome, and really good culture towards safety in delivery.
When I think back 15 years ago when I first started, I didn't know of a single female project manager, let alone a female working in an operations role managing kids at home. And I'm now proud to say that I'm one of many.
We certainly see that women in particular leave the industry in that kind of mid-career range, their late 20s, early 30s. It's a big problem, and I think part of that is not really understanding how you can have a sustainable career as a parent. We see that often with men too, but more so with women.
I think where there is a change is that people are more likely to move between companies as opposed to the old days where people would work for 20 or 30 years with the same company. And I do believe there's a net flux. When you lose them to an industry, you would not likely see them return.
There is a risk of burnout across the industry as a whole. It's so easy for projects to suddenly go, hang on, we're slightly behind program, let's double shift, let's work every Saturday and all that kind of thing. And obviously that rubs off on how people perceive the industry.
I think we really need to change the perception of what a career in construction looks like. We need to make sure that we resource our jobs properly. People are given an opportunity to find that balance.
We go into the school and their initial perception is of trades and high vis, and we're having to work hard to raise awareness of all the other trades and all the other skills and career pathways that exist around the industry.
The construction industry can focus on inspiring younger women to see that there are opportunities and different roles that might suit them so that they may feel inspired to give the construction industry a go as well.
Having more of those internships, grad positions, even a bit more media around it.
The next generation are a lot more self-aware, I would say, and a lot more savvy in how they approach work. So they know what they want and they're out to get it. And they also, I think, really attuned to those ideas of flexibility and work-life balance.
I really do think we have to follow through on making the industry more attractive. We've done a lot of work down here on things like a 5-day working week instead of 6 days.
I think we need to focus on work-life balance and providing a more viable working environment. This will assist us in keeping people in the construction industry for longer.